So I know we got a lot to catch up on, and there's a lot of stuff that I do have to say, but today's not for that. Here we go. Hey, what's up, interwebs? My name's David, and you are chilling with Schilling. All right, like I said, we do not have a lot of time for updates or anything like that today. In fact, we're going to skip all of that stuff, and we're going to go right into today's topic: photography. Rather, my photography. Rather, Roger. What sets me what sets me apart from most other photographers? And I'll give you a hint. It is absolutely not my skill behind the camera. It is absolutely not the equipment that I use. I am severely lacking in both of those departments. I am a self taught photographer. I have been shooting for the last 15 years, 15 and a half years now. That said, because I'm self-taught, I've never learned a whole lot of the technical side of things. I've never learned the official artistic side of things. What I do have is a brain full of creativity. I have an acting and a filmmaking background, which I do use a lot behind my camera, and I'll explain how. And what I do have are a particular set of skills that make me I don't even know what accent I came from or slipped into. What I do have is a lot of interpersonal skills. And for those of you that watch my YouTube channel on the regular, you know that I am talking about my mental health, how they have really helped and transformed me to become the person that I am, and how that translates into shooting. Let's get started. All right, so me, photography. How did I get started? Let's start there very quickly. I was shooting a web series at the time. I was acting in it. And the directors of that web series had asked me if I had a DSLR camera, one of the cameras that had the lenses. Well, I got it. I had it. I was using it for my athletes. So I said, "Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do." They got me to help them take photos at a nightclub. And that was the first time that I had actual professional experience behind a camera. Now, I wouldn't call myself a professional. I was using auto for the vast majority of the night, but that's what really got me into taking photos. It was a lot of fun. I was pretty good at it with my acting background and my filmmaking background. I was able to see decent angles and take great artistic shots, even in a nightclub setting. So that was great. Did that a few times. Did some weddings. They got me into doing some wedding photography. Now, wedding photography and nightclub photography are very different. Nightclubs, everybody's dancing, having a good time, laughing, joking, at least a little bit drunk, if not a little bit more than a little bit drunk. The point I'm trying to make is everybody is wonderful and everybody's having a good time. You can retake shots. Somebody's blinking. If you miss something, something's blurry, you have a chance to redo it. Now, with wedding photography, you don't. So when you're doing things like, say, the ceremony, where they're going in for their first kiss or they're putting on a ring. Because if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And he did. Those are one-time photos, one-time shots. You can't ask the bride and groom to take the ring off and do it again. This isn't a staged thing. It's a live event. So where I had an advantage was working very well under high stress situations. I was good at weddings. More than being a good photographer at weddings. Weddings, especially in the area that I was shooting in, tend to be very cookie cutter in terms of the event. This happens and this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. So in that regard, it is very straightforward. Where I really stood out was I was able to see and understand that the bride was very stressed out. So I would go out of my way to make her feel a little bit better. Take the edge off a little bit. Help her laugh. Help her have some fun. Put the camera down. Not everything is about the camera right now. At the end of the day, this is her wedding day. It is the most important day of her life for the most part. It's a big day, lots of family, lots of friends. There is a lot of time, effort, money that has gone into this. Least I can do is check in on the bride. I laugh and I joke and I'd ease some tensions and I talk to people and let them vent with me and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it really got the bride, the groom, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, and the family and friends and everybody involved, got them to relax a little bit, got them to be themselves without having to be completely drunk. Kind of a gift and a curse sometimes, depending on the family, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, I became very good at keeping everybody calm and relaxed. So when it came to taking photos, people would turn to me a lot more than they would anybody else. They would really focus in on me. I could get them to laugh, to smile, to joke, and they knew I was being genuine because this was me all day long. Camera, no camera. I was just checking in to make sure people were doing okay. I was a trained actor. I wanted to be a film actor since high school. Before that, I wanted to be a theater actor since grade 3 forward, 3 on. And before that, I wanted to be Bill Nye the Science Guy. So I've always wanted to be an entertainer. Always wanted to entertain people. I've got good at it. I've gotten really good at entertaining people, at storytelling, at doing all of these things. That's beside the point. I knew actors. Actors need headshots. Not every actor has enough money to be able to afford taking headshots with a high-end photographer. But I've had my headshots taken. Whoop, I've had photographers tell me I have a great eye for photography. Now I have a little bit of a background with photography, shooting nightclubs and dark light setting situations, shooting for weddings in settings all over the place, working with people of all kinds. So then I transitioned into headshots. Not that difficult compared to the live events and things like that. So I got pretty good at doing headshots. Not amazing, but pretty good. Shot for some friends. They reached out. They got into some friends shooting. And then I reached out to, or then I had somebody reach out to me about doing some modeling type photos. And I've never worked with that before. That's a different beast. It's one, maybe two people. It's a very specific wardrobe. It's hair, it's makeup, it's all of the above. And then it's one on one. But you know what? It's also some of the most creative photography I have done to date. Being able to express myself through the posing of whoever I'm working with, through the hair and makeup of whomever I'm working with, to the wardrobe of whomever is supplying wardrobe. All of that became the closest way to expressing myself that I was able to do to date. So I did some fashion, I did some hair photos, shooting for a hair competition for Sebastian Wella. Name drop. I've done a lot of creative stuff. And then in 2000 something ish, I forget when, doesn't matter when, time wise. The Dove campaigns were big. Everything was body positive. Everything was really pushing to love yourself. Except I had one real issue with that, in that it was all an advertising campaign for companies. So I took on the role of a photographer, obviously, looking to shoot a body positive campaign. But I wanted it to be a little bit more storytelling than just love the skin you're in. So I came up with three separate ideas for the same campaign. Now, the campaign I called I'm Perfect. Capital I, capital M, lowercase perfect. All one word. To get it, it's spelled imperfect, but said I'm perfect. Anyways, this was a three-tiered campaign. The first campaign, or the first part of the campaign, was I'm me, where it was just you in the skin you're in, wearing your undergarments, just being yourself, emotionally, mentally, just being yourself, loving the person that you are. The second tier was a little bit more of a classic boudoir style shoot, aimed to build a little confidence and help people see themselves in a different light. And then the third was to embrace your biggest physical insecurity and highlight that in part of a shoot. That particular part was shot in black and white. That made me fall in love with storytelling even more, helping people see themselves in a way that wasn't seen before. To them, at least, really made me fall in love with photography. In fact, shortly after, I chose to stay behind the camera instead of pursuing acting, partly because of my ability to tell a story that I wanted to tell. Now, for those of you again who have watched this YouTube channel for a while, you know what's coming up. For those of you who don't, I encourage you to go back and check out some of my other videos. I will leave a few in at the end of this video in one of those little clicky boxy things. So be prepared for that. But long story short, super long story short. In 2018, I was engaged to be married. At the end of August of that very year, my fiance lost her battle with mental health. I'm not going to go into detail about that for obviously triggering reasons, but yes, if that's what you're thinking, yes. After that, I stopped taking pictures. I hung up my camera. I had no joy in anything that was life. Then I was told about a photo shoot that my Rachel did. Now, To this day, I have never, ever, ever seen these photos, and I never want to, because she depicted what it was like for her to feel her mental health, her challenges, her struggles. And so in 2019, I decided to pick up my camera again, and I shot a mental health based series called The Survivors. Now, again, this was a black and white photo series. It depicts people who are alone in their safe space, just feeling, not showing, not pretending, just feeling. That photo series made me fall in love with photography again. It was a way for me to connect my heart, my soul, my everything that I had lost with my fiance into something different and find passion in life again. Now, with that photo series, I met a lot of people that I still call friends today. People who deal with mental health challenges, who struggle on their own. We've sort of stayed acquainted at the very least, and we are bonded through our mental health and our shared experiences of struggling alone together. Now, I've shot a lot of different things, a lot of different styles. I've shot everything from high fashion, I've shot hair competitions, I've shot every little thing pretty much that you can think of, including implied nudity and including artistic style photos as well. But the one thing that they've all really had in common is my ability to get people to just really feel relaxed while on camera. So, year 15 and a half, where are we now? Well, my focus has shifted a little bit more. It's a little bit more focused. My focus right now is confidence. Not just confidence on camera, because anybody can help you be confident on camera. My focus is confidence of self, confidence in self, self love, self admiration. That's my focus moving forwards. And so far in 2025, it's been wonderful. I've absolutely loved the people that I've met, the people that I've shot, the connection that we've had. So that's where I come from behind the camera. That's why I am behind the camera. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how I shoot. Well, like I said, I'm self taught. I don't know how to set up the perfect shot with the perfect lighting and take one or two photos and then move on to the next pose and move on to the next pose and move on to the next look. I don't know how to do that. I wish I did, but I can't. So what I do is I take a lot of photos. Now I know, well, that doesn't make you a photographer. Sure, why not? That doesn't make me much of a photographer. Not a skilled technical photographer. I can agree with that. I'm not very skilled. I'm not very technical behind the camera. I love candid moments. We might take a couple of posed photos and then you have a great pose and I don't take a picture. Now we're waiting. Now we're waiting. And then you kind of have a little bit of a smirk instead of a fake smile. You kind of have a real smile start to poke through. And then I'll take photos. Click, 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 click. Getting a bunch of photos with a natural smile, a natural look, natural posing. So I take a bunch of photos. I don't set myself to particular time limits. Most other photographers, unless I'm shooting in a studio that I'm renting, whatever, but most photographers will set a 60-minute time limit. Most of my photo shoots last at least 90 minutes, if not a little bit longer. I like taking my time. I like getting to know you. Our first shoot that we do will typically be in the clothes that you brought with you. Why? Because you and I are going to get a little bit, you and I are going to take a little bit of a chance to get to know each other. It's going to take a little bit of time. How I work, how you work. I can be super crazy professional. I can also be super crazy. All depends on what you need to come out of your shell. Usually I land somewhere in between the two, but our first shoot, I typically call a throwaway shoot because the first shoot, you're getting used to me, I'm getting used to you. There's a comfort level that isn't there yet. So we start there and then we get into wardrobe that you brought. Because I take a lot of photos, because I am a bit of one, because I am a major storyteller behind the camera, I like taking a lot of photos. I like experimenting with angles. I like playing with different close-up situations, zooming in on certain looks, certain poses, certain facial expressions. I'll zoom out a little extra far so I can zoom in the computer. Everything for me is about telling a story, whatever story we discuss. And believe me, there is a lot of discussion before we even put you on camera. So we shoot, I take a million photos and we play with the different angles. We look at wardrobe, we shoot all the looks that you have. It takes about 90 minutes. After the photo shoot is done, and I'll get into more detail with that in a little bit. But after the shoot is done, I will go through the photos. I'll get rid of all the blurry ones, all the ones where you're blinking, it's an awkward pose, wardrobe malfunction, anything that I feel doesn't stand out compared to the other photos in the set. I will get rid of all of the worst photos, leaving you with a large number of photos that you get to choose from for the shoot. Then I edit. We're going to break this down a little bit further because it will help to explain why I can get my models, why I can get my subjects to be so comfortable on camera pretty quickly. Before we even we discuss. We'll discuss through Facebook Messenger. We'll discuss through Instagram. Mostly Instagram is what I use for my networking, but we discuss a lot. We'll go over all of the who, what, where, when, my, hows. Who, you, obviously, because you're the subject, the model, the client, whatever you are, whatever you want to call yourself. The what? We're going to discuss what we're shooting, exactly what we're shooting. Most of my models tend to shoot boudoir, they shoot implied, they shoot artistic, everything in that nature. They shoot fashion, they shoot all of the above. It doesn't matter. We discuss everything ahead of time. You lay out your boundaries, you lay out your limitations. You are also going to lay out your insecurities. See, I like to push comfort zones, but never boundaries. If somebody tells me they don't shoot boudoir, okay, that's fine. We don't shoot boudoir. We'll do fashion. We'll do something that stays within your level of boundary. But if somebody says, "Well, I've never shot boudoir," I don't know if I don't know. That brings me to my next point. Control. Most photographers will keep control over their work. It is their work. They own the rights to their photos. Unless, of course, you sign a model release or things like that. So there are exceptions to that rule, but as long as it is a word of mouth contract, then your photographer owns the rights to the photos they take. That holds true with me as well. But you get control over what you look like online. You get control over what gets posted, what gets shared, where it gets shared. If you don't want something posted or shared, then it doesn't get posted or shared. It's not that difficult. I have a lot of clients, and I use them as client, and I say clients because they are non-models who want to be on camera. They want the experience of shooting boudoir. They have a partner they want to gift photos for Valentine's Day or anniversary, things like that. Those photos never see the light of day. Why would they? The model doesn't want them to be. But I never post anything without consent or permission. Every single time. And of course, all the photos that I do post will adhere to any and all social media guidelines that are put in place. So, like I said, comfort is of the utmost importance to me. If that means you want to bring a friend, partner, and escort somebody else along to the shoot, by all means, let me know ahead of time so I can be prepared for it. I will also let you know that if they are disrupting the shoot, if they are disrupting your piece, your flow, my piece, my flow, I might ask them to wait outside, but they are more than welcome to be there for you. You are able to stop the shoot at any point in time for any reason. Backtrack just a little bit. I'm constantly checking in. I am very good at reading faces. I am very good at reading emotions. Part of being bullied a lot growing up is that you are able to check to see with mood changes. You can see those things. You might not understand why or anything, but you can see that there's a mood change very quickly. It's how we avoid danger in our world. So I can sense a mood change. I can see the mood change. I'm staring at you through a lens of a camera. I can zoom right in on your face. If I'm not convinced if I'm convinced that you're going through a little something, camera goes down. I'll check in. Hey, how's it going? You okay? What do you need? Do you need a drink of water? Do you need to step outside? Do you need to go for a cigarette? Whatever it might be. What do you need? Sometimes you just need a little break to sit and chat and get out of your head. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of the reason why I like taking my time with photo shoots. If we vibe together and we're shooting in a space that's not costing a ton of money or any money, then we will shoot for 2 hours. No problem if we're vibing and having a good time. As long as we have fresh ideas to shoot, absolutely, we just go. I hate holding myself to a specific time frame unless obviously I'm renting a studio space that is required of said time frame. But I don't like to stop when something good is really flowing. Why? So, who, what else are we discussing? Wardrobe. We discuss wardrobe. I love to see photos of what you're planning on bringing, so my brain can visualize what you're wearing. I can visualize the space we're going to be in. I can visual. It just helps me really picture everything beforehand, so that I can put pieces together beforehand, so that my brain isn't kind of processing on the fly. I come a little bit more prepared and I can get a little bit more work done a lot of it faster. But we discuss wardrobe again with boundaries and barriers and comfort zones. All of that gets discussed, and we stick within your boundaries day of the shoot. We wear what we're wearing, you bring what you're bringing. And again, if I'm coming up with a new idea, my question is worded, how do you feel about because I don't want to say, hey, let's do this. Let's try this. It's all about how you feel about doing something. Recently, I had a model who came by who was okay shooting in a bathtub and doing a bathtub shoot with bubbles and all that kind of fun stuff, but wasn't okay doing a different type of implied nudity, even though it was the same vibe. Different styles, different themes. It wasn't discussed ahead of time, so she said, I'm not comfortable with that. No problem. I've never understood when photographers have issues with people setting boundaries. It's always been a red flag to me. If we agree on shooting something, we agree on shooting boudoir or implied nudity or full blown nudity, let's say we agree to do that. If you feel uncomfortable day of, just let me know. Scratch the idea. It's no problem. If you feel uncomfortable moment of, okay, scratch the idea. It's no big deal. When I tell you that your comfort and peace and relaxation is of the utmost importance to me, I mean it. 'Cause that's how I get the best photos from you. If you and I know each other, if you and I are comfortable with one another, if you and I are really hitting it off and doing great things already, why would I try to ruin that by doing anything that would make you feel uncomfortable or to force you or to pressure you into doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable? We're in the zone, we're vibing. Let's just keep in the zone and vibe. Let's just, yeah. We can try to circle back at the end if it's a little hiccup you're having, if it's a personal insecurity, we can talk through it. If it's a me thing, please just let me know and then we still scratch it and move on to something else. You will never be forced or pressured to do something that you are absolutely no interest in doing. Now, because I like to explore, I like to push comfort zones. I like to try new things. I'll try new angles. I'll try new focus levels. I'll try new lighting systems. It's always about experimentation because that's when you get something that you never thought possible. But sometimes you try something and it just doesn't turn out. Photos get deleted. If you are comfortable doing a shoot that is a little bit more revealing and then change your mind partway through and you really just don't want that whole idea done at all. I'm just, again, example. Photos get deleted. If you have a noticeable wardrobe malfunction, but I noticed partway through a series of photos, camera goes down. You can watch me delete every single photo that had a wardrobe malfunction. Just makes sense to me. Yeah. Now, here is where I also differ from most, not everyone, but most other photographers. You get control over the edits as well. I will do my editing job. Have my style of editing. I'm always trying to evolve and grow and do new things, but I have my way of editing. Part of that is helping to tell and enhance the story. So if I have an editing style for a certain look or a certain lighting setup, it's because that's the mood, that's the story that's coming out to me. But it might not be the style that you're looking for. It might not be what you're looking for. You can let me know and I'll rework the edits. If you have a concept, an editing concept in mind, you can let me know and I will go into the editing process with those concepts in mind. As long as you don't tag me as the editor, I don't care if you put Instagram filters on my photos. Just tag yourself specifically as an editor and me as the photographer. Other than that, I don't care. It's your likeness. It is and 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 slow down, brain. And maybe it's because I started out in front of the camera. Maybe it's because I never got creative control over what I look like on camera when I was an actor. Maybe that's why. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why. But I've never been one to be hell bent on an edit. It's your likeness. This is the representation of you. This is what you look like and how you want to be seen. So if you want something re-edited, adjustments a little bit here and there, by all means. Even better, do it yourself and edit exactly how you like it. You'll get a copy of the proofs that you see, so you'll get a copy of the unedited proofs. At the end of it, you'll get an unwatermarked photo that you and I have agreed with the edits on. More importantly, I love to have my clients, my models to be part of the creative process. Who doesn't want to be part of the creative process? That's the best part. So from start to finish, it's a discussion. We're collaborating ideas. It might be my theme that I am reaching out to network and to create more to create more concepts of, like my mental health shoot. I might be reaching out to you to shoot for that series, but you're still involved. It's your version of my series. You're adding your voice to mine. And that's what makes it so special when I collaborate with people. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I work. That's how I run. Start to finish, it's a collaboration. It's your likeness, it's your body. You get to choose what you shoot with. I will push your comfort zone. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. That's how I've gotten better with my mental health. Is I have pushed my comfort zone. That's how you get over things. That's how you get past things. Never ask you to push a boundary. Never, never, never will I ask you to do something that you have no desire to do, that for whatever reason, whether it be family ties, religious reasons, personal choice, future family reasons, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to do a concept, I won't ask you to do the concept. We'll find other things to do. I'm more than just a picture taker. I'm a storyteller. I like telling the story of you. I like showing you what you look like through my eyes. I look for those little moments where I see personality come through the pose. I'll tell you that the camera is going to be somebody in your life, somebody that you love, and I'll take photos of those loving looks, the shy little moments that you might have. Those are the things that I live for. I love shooting candid moments. When you think you're not looking, or when you have something going on in your head and your brain is telling you a story, I can see that in your eyes. I look for those moments and I love those moments. Shooting with me, you will get great photos. Maybe not the most amazing photos, but what you do get with me is an experience. You will come in a certain way and you will leave a more confident version of that way. You will see yourself as I see you, not as you see yourself in a mirror. You might not even recognize yourself, but believe me, it's you. Check out my Instagram, guys. If you want to see some of my photos, a little bit more of my photos, let me know. Drop me a comment down below. What got you into the arts? What got you behind a camera, in front of a camera? Are you camera shy? How come? What's wrong? Why? Why do you not want to see yourself? I have a lot of physical insecurities with myself, so sometimes it's hard, but I still take photos. I still do photos every other year with somebody else behind the camera. Guys, if you want to know a little bit more about me, check out some of my other YouTube videos. Obviously, there's going to be a huge list of them. I've been doing this for too long, too inconsistent. I love doing this. This is where I love to be on camera. As doing something like this. If you want to see more of my work, check out my Instagram, Chilling.with.Schilling. If you're interested in shooting, reach out to me. Send me a message either down below. Reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you can reach out to me from. Send me an email, davidjschilling@gmail.com. And don't forget, tell your friends.